The drama surrounding Giannis this season feels like déjà vu, yet somehow entirely unprecedented. Every few years, the NBA seems to produce a moment where one player rises so far above reason that the numbers start to lose their meaning. And this year, that force of nature is Giannis. At 30 years old, after nearly a decade of dominance, after proving himself with a championship, 2 MVPs, and endless nights spent tearing apart every defensive scheme thrown his way, you'd think the league would finally find a way to temper his impact. Instead, he's having the most complete and overwhelming start to a season in his entire career. The production borders on surreal. Over 32 points, double-digit rebounds, elite playmaking, and suffocating defense all wrapped into 66% true shooting. Even the three-pointer, the one shot critics always clung to as evidence of his limits, is falling at a staggering rate. Everything about what Giannis is doing right now feels unreal, as if the game has finally bent itself around his will. But what makes this season stand out isn't just the numbers. It's the way he's playing. Giannis has always been a nightmare for opposing defenses, a force who bent coverages with sheer athletic violence. Yet this year, he's evolved into something even more terrifying, a master manipulator of defenses. Teams swarm him every time he steps inside the arc, collapsing bodies around him, walling off the paint, throwing traps and double teams in desperation. Instead of trying to push through those bodies like he once did, Giannis is now defeating defenses with intelligence just as much as power. He's reading coverages like a field general, manipulating weak side rotations, and punishing every mistake with precision passing. For the first time, Milwaukee has embraced Giannis not just as their finisher, but as their primary initiator. And that shift has changed everything. With proper spacing around him, Giannis is free to operate at a level he was never allowed to before. He hits cutters at the perfect moment. He finds shooters in the corners as if the court has slowed down just for him. He throws pocket passes to the rollman or pick-and-pop partner with perfect timing. His 18-assist night against Charlotte was not an outlier or a lucky break. It was a declaration. A deliberate showcase of the way he sees the floor now, the way Milwaukee is finally choosing to weaponize him, and the new offensive identity the Bucks are quietly building. Even more incredible is the fact that Milwaukee hasn't fully clicked yet. The team is still ironing out roles, still learning the details of Doc Rivers' system, still figuring out how to make this roster function at its peak. And yet the offense is already elite when Giannis is on the floor. His usage is absurd, at the very top of the league, yet it doesn't feel forced or reckless. Every decision he makes shapes the flow of the possession. Every touch leads somewhere purposeful. Milwaukee's numbers with him are otherworldly. A top-tier offensive rating, elite efficiency, and a scoring profile that instantly craters the moment he steps to the bench. Compared to last season, when Giannis was forced into a secondary initiator role behind Damian Lillard, the contrast is stark. Giving Giannis back the full controls has transformed the Bucks into something sharper, quicker, and far more dangerous. But as powerful as he is, Giannis isn't the only shift happening in Milwaukee. The biggest surprise of the season might be Kyle Kuzma becoming a lifeline no one believed he could be. A year ago, fans wanted him gone. His postseason performance was forgettable, even painful at times. Confidence in him had evaporated. And yet, in a move that shocked nearly everyone, Doc Rivers inserted Kuzma into the starting lineup, not to replace a shooter or to boost offense, but to salvage the defense. The idea was simple. Size, activity, and physicality were missing, and Kuzma's defensive energy could plug those holes. The gamble has paid off. Suddenly, the player many dismissed has become Milwaukee's most consistent defender. Opponents struggle to score on him, even elite forwards and scoring centers. His footwork, his length, his instincts, they've all sharpened. He's grabbing rebounds, contesting everything, stepping into matchups he once seemed too inconsistent to handle. He still has the occasional wild shot, a remnant of his Washington days, but those moments are rare now. And offensively, he has embraced a simplified role. Catch and shoot, opportunistic cuts, and rhythm scoring off ball movement have made him reliable in ways no one expected. His first game as a true starter showed exactly how disruptive he could be, giving Milwaukee the blueprint for the kind of toughness they desperately need. Meanwhile, the emergence of Ryan Rollins has become one of the most important developments of the season. With Kevin Porter Jr. injured and the guard rotation thin, Rollins has taken on creation duties and excelled. He scores efficiently, facilitates with confidence, defends with grit, and provides something Milwaukee has lacked since Drew Holiday left: consistent pressure off the dribble. His shooting has been lights out, his turnovers minimal, and his energy contagious. He's become the guard Milwaukee didn't realize it needed, stabilizing the offense when Giannis sits and giving the Bucks someone who can keep the tempo alive. Then there's Miles Turner, the quiet giant who has slowly begun rounding into form. The early struggles with three-point shooting have faded. His role as a floor-spacing big man, rim protector, and mobile defensive anchor is becoming more pronounced every game. He shoots with confidence, rotates seamlessly on defense, and gives Milwaukee the vertical presence they've lacked since Brook Lopez's departure. The chemistry between Giannis and Turner is still in its infancy, but even now, the potential is obvious. They're learning each other's timing, tendencies, and spacing, and with every game, the synergy grows sharper. Yet for all the greatness, Milwaukee still faces real challenges. The defensive rebounding has been a glaring issue. Too many first possessions end with second chances for opponents. The Rockets exposed this flaw brutally, out-rebounding Milwaukee by an embarrassing margin. For a team with Giannis and Turner, these numbers should not exist. It's one of the key reasons Kuzma was elevated into the starting lineup. More size, more commitment, more bodies crashing the glass. But even with that change, the Bucks remain vulnerable in this area. The perimeter defense isn't much better. Too many undersized guards are forced into tough matchups. Too many blow-bys lead to rotations that leave shooters open or force Giannis and Turner to clean up too much. Milwaukee lacks true defensive wings, and that weakness becomes more dangerous in the playoffs. When teams isolate matchups relentlessly. The final issue is the non-Giannis minutes. When he sits, Milwaukee's offense falls apart. Spacing collapses, shot creation disappears, and the scoring drops to near bottom levels. Everything becomes static. The Bucks desperately need Rollins to keep rising. They need Porter Jr. back. They need the bench to produce instead of merely surviving. Because as great as Giannis is, no player, not even at this level, can drag a team through the postseason entirely on his own. But even with these issues, the bigger story remains undeniable. This is the best version of Giannis the world has ever seen. He's controlling every aspect of the game. He's elevating every player around him. He's carrying an offense that revolves around his dominance in a way that feels effortless but is built on pure mastery. And with this version of Giannis leading them, the Bucks have a chance against anyone. The season is still young, and Milwaukee is still unfinished, but the foundation is there. The fire is there. The ceiling is as high as it has ever been. If you made it this far, let me know your thoughts. Can this version of Giannis take Milwaukee back to the finals? Are the Bucks' 1 or 2 roster moves away from becoming unstoppable? And what worries you most about this team heading into the postseason?